Hello folks, Bloodbrew here. Today I'd like to talk about something what you may call basically our Devastation sealed Prerelease primer. And I'm not going to talk about all these crazy mythics and rares, so I would just talk about uncommons and commons because that would make sense when you do a primer like that. And I'll try not to be tempted to actually make any comments about constructed, even though I'd be very tempted to. So we have the full spoiler, and it's not a big set, it's just 199 cards. So there are a lot of rares that are actually game changing, and not that many ways to actually prevent them from hitting the table and wreaking havoc and doing their thing. I'm pretty sure quite a few of you will be wrecked by Last Reckoning or Hour of Revelation, things like that. So, but those cards are really needed for Constructed, so if you think about that, then maybe you wouldn't get so sad. So first uncommons we face in the set, so Defeat, great cyber cards, don't see them in main deck, and then I'm pretty sure G's Defeat will be cited quite often, just to be able to counter a few mythics and rares on the way, so that they don't actually impact the board already once they enter. So that's great. And then we don't really have those planeswalkers in the set, so okay, like you might open some in Amonkhet, but still, so that's a factor that's not gonna make the defeats all that important. After that, the next uncommons we see are these. Right, the Leader form supports the present blue-red, blue-white spells kind of archetype, and well, it just sits there, and the Sphinx actually has flying, so yeah, I think it's a pretty good card. Allows you to scry too, so there are lots of bonuses on that, and the next two uncommons next to it basically tell you that I think the limited environment will be really value based, and there will be a lot of incremental edges and a lot of ways to use your permanents in play, cards in hand, your lands, everything. So a lot of games will be really a big grind, and they would involve all kinds of resources and cards. Really like the Punisher, really like the Minotaur, really great cards for limited in my mind. Very flexible and allow you to get an edge in mid-late game. Quite a bit of interaction, but quite a few really powerful creatures, I think. And a lot of cards that actually go into all kinds of archetypes, I should say. Whether it's aggro, mid-range, or control. So a lot of these uncommons will be actually available in different setups, even though it's quite clear that some of them would be more powerful in one than in the others. So Manifestation, so good blocker, cycles. This side has already a lot of cycling, and Amonkhet as well, so it's not that hard to switch it on. You don't really need to have a huge number of cycling cards. Plus you get the Landstat cycle as well. And even if you don't have that many, I think I'd still play it in the mid-range control deck, just because it blocks well in the early game, and in the late game if you draw it you can just cycle it away. So that's pretty crazy. The Magmarov and a few other red commons and uncommons together with similar commons and uncommons in green combined make up for a very threatening, really good, very consistent, stable limited archetype of red-green beats, once again present in this set, so the archetype is going to be well represented and a very safe route to go into. Then zombies get support, but a lot of cards that are that have zombie as a creature type, they don't necessarily have to be in the zombie deck. So you see they're presented in pretty much almost all colors and no shapes or forms. Though this card in conventional tactics probably would go on in a dedicated zombie deck, but we learned that it's a really great archetype to be in limited black white zombies. So yeah, I mean you could be fortunate enough. I don't think I would play it without any a significant number of zombies in the deck. Then I like the Eternal of Hushed Truths really a lot, and the Merciless Eternal, and the Manticore. They're all really great cards in my mind. Not super overpowered, not really that fast, but they're gonna get you there. And this Devotee of Strength, and combined with, again, things like this Manticore Eternal, um, it's really threatening. You'd need a lot of interaction to stop red-green. What's next? Steward. So it has a tap in its ability, so it's not like you have to attack with it. You can just, produce a 1/1 token every second turn, and it's a 2/2. So it's a very decent Grizzly Bear with an upside, so why not? And on Vizier of the Night, I really like the Naga Vizier with the same cost and stats in Amonkhet. Uh, its ability was very good. It's like having a green flare in limited, but not as a rare, and that can also like block very well, and it's not really dependent on getting through and stuff like that. This one is similar in its power level and what it does, but I think it's even better than the other Naga. But that one was a common one. This one is uncommon. Yet very strong. Probably one of the key blue uncommons, I think. It's not really hard to get it going. Razakev's right. Well, basically it's the Tibolic tutor for 1/1 mana, but it has cycling in it. So that's pretty good. Probably that means it's not going to be all that relevant for constructed, but we'll see. We shall see. It has potential. Crystallic Sense Strangler is going to be pretty crazy. So basically, out of all color combination, I think Green Grid Beats has the most dependency level on the desert. So outside of red green, not most other archetypes don't really need deserts that much. But the cool part is that you have this Beetle, which is a 5 mana 4/5. And then you have cycling lands out of Amonkhet, the rare ones, and then the uncommon ones from this set. And then you have all the discards. So yeah, the Beetle is going to be very strong and very relevant, I think. Really sick card. For example, Sanskrit Champion, also probably pretty high in my list of white uncommons. It doesn't seem exciting at the first glance, but then again, imagine you discard it. And then, okay, like to eternalize, you will have to discard once more, but then you'll probably like discard some Dorzers or some like lands that you can retrieve later if you're in green-white, which I also think is a viable choice. So pretty much every color combination outside of like maybe blue-green has a lot of support and looks strong in theory. And it doesn't mean that blue-green is actually bad, but it has like less of support and less of identity or synergy. But it still could be a very strong deck. Not a fan of this Torment of Scarabs. Could be cool, but I don't know, a little bit underwhelming. It could be a good and the right deck, which has a lot of interaction and removal and so on. Having a basically 4/4 flying at 5 mana in blue with an upside is really crazy. And okay, only targets one creature, but it's still amazing because of like the sheer amount of all the cycling and discards in these two sets. It's gonna wreck people like really all that often, and you can do all this at instant speed. It's an insane card. Paincaster might not seem like super powerful at first, but I think it's a very solid card. It doesn't have like great stats, and ping in just for one is not amazing, but still I think it's pretty cool. We've been spoiled a little bit with a bunch of 2 mana pingers and stuff like that, but this pinger can ping creatures as well, even though you'll have to exert it. And if you give it vigilance, things are gonna be pretty damn crazy. Overcome, so basically kind of a fixed downgraded overrun. And there are not that many token producers in this set, but some in Amonkhet, so this card could be pretty crazy. I suppose they didn't want to give us a straight overrun just because, well, it's in a way kind of dangerous because of constructed as well. But yeah, in limited it will be, I think, important now just to break those stalemates, because sometimes, yeah, we might be entering a staring contest in this limited, I feel like. Um, yeah, a lot of uncommons spread out across different colors. I don't think I'll be the one casting Inferno Jet, just doesn't seem good. So there are some uncommons that seem like they're alright because of cycling and stuff like that, but in the end they're not that crazy. Um, yeah, but all other 4 cards in this row are really good. Um, and yeah, the black-green minus counters is becoming a much more prominent archetype for limited, with cards like this Tenacious Hunter, really good. And then we're entering the support row for blue-red or blue-white spells, basically Supreme Wheel, the Firebrand Archer. So yeah, but the thing about the blue-red spells is the classic dilemma of how many non-creatures you can afford to run. And yeah, you need a lot of good win conditions that will just balance out the necessity of running a big number of non-creatures. So Preservative, obviously pretty good. Not as much as you might think, but still very nice. The Hope Tender is something like pretty weird. So it's fine on its own, just a grizzly bear, which is always fine and limited, most of the times at least. But what can I say? It's a bit weird. You don't have Utopia's Pros or anything like to enchant lands. Well, there is one in Amonkhet, so together with those, this Hope Tender could be pretty crazy, I guess. I suppose the main part about it is that it allows you to actually fix your colors, because you just using generic mana for the tender to use it. So I guess if you really need to like fix your colors, and green is your main one, so yeah, probably would run this. Sifter Worm and cards like this are just insane. And then there is this Beetroot Sharpshooters. It's like green is so good and red is pretty damn good and has a lot of removal. And on the other side you have this Crush Throw, which might not seem insane, also because it's a sorcery, but it falls into weird spells deck category. You don't You're not gonna need it all that much in red green, I think, because a lot of creatures either will have trample or it just wouldn't really matter to have this kind of cycler. But in the spells deck, or having one mana spell that actually does stuff and like, draws your cards, so it's pretty good. Strategic planning will be pretty sick with all the internalize and all the graveyard synergies and embalms and so on. I really do quite like it. It also helps the blue-red spells archetype, pumps up your Enigma Drakes and your Serpents and stuff like this. What else? Pacifism for free, that has a small upside, that's okay, I think. That's quite okay. The zombie wall is kind of weird. At least it has cycling though, so that makes it alright, I suppose. Jury renunciation, pretty cool. I think we had something like this before. I think you just tapped 3 creatures instead of 2 on this one, but then again, I don't think it had cycling. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, pretty cool card. I like it. So very main deckable. If you're in a tempo aggressive deck, you definitely would want to play it. Otherwise, probably not. The guide is pretty good. 3 mana 2/2 flyer is already fine, and then it actually has text on it. Um, it's really one of the better blue commons, I guess. The beast is a beast. Also a very decent common, I should say. Blur of Blades, I don't know, it's an instant at least, and then instead of damage it gives like minus counter. It's a little bit weird. I would want to see something like this in black, like pretty much the same card but in black, and then instead of damage like lose 2 life or something. That would be really crazy. I don't know why it's red. It's weird. I mean, you'd still probably play it in an aggressive deck, right? But I just wanted to see it in black. It will give like so much support to black-green archetype. The Avon is quite alright. Not super exciting though, but okay. Reedstalker on the other hand is pretty cool. Allows you to ambush some creatures and keep mana up for some tricks or counters or whatever, or for cycling as well. So really happy to see that. Expect to see a lot of that card. Lethal Sting. Well, what can I say? Yeah, you're gonna see it a lot. You're gonna see it a lot, I think. I like the card. Unconditional removal for free is pretty nice. Well, sort of unconditional. You're gonna have some creatures lying around. But yeah, not insane, but you'd have to probably play it. Puncture Blow is really good. It's only 4 mana for 5 damage, which is alright. Quite alright. Sorcery is kind of like, sad part. But then again, you get to exile the creatures so they don't get to eternalize or embalm. That's a very big clause. That's one of the better removals in red, I should say, just because it switches off the second half of creature of all those creatures. Beneath the Sand is pretty cool. Allows you to go green mid range, which is important. Plus, you don't get these rare dual lands like with Amonkhet in this set at least. So they needed, to add some good ramping and fixing. Then what? Oh yeah, the disposal bomb is going to be very important. I think if you're going to be a white aggro deck in mid range, probably you're not going to play this in control, but you will side it in a lot, I think. So switching off again, Eternalize and Embalm is really sick. Countervailing Winds. For each card in your graveyard. Oh yeah, this is actually pretty good. So this is, even though it's not as strong as Circle Logic from Odyssey Block, it's not as powerful. Blood for common, this is really good actually, because it's kind of like hard counter late game, and potential like cycler later. So what can I say? It's very similar to Sensor. It's very similar to Sensor, though while Sensor is really good early and in late game you just cycle this. With this card I think it's a little bit other way around. And yeah, you gotta make sure that you have enough of like 1-2 mana cyclers to make this card like actually good. But in the red deck it's pretty good, I should say. And then it switches on like this card next to it, Grizzly Survivor. Let's say they go in, so they try to maybe cast something before combat, like, I don't know, some way to enhance their creatures. You counter it, or like just cycles the winds or whatever, and then you have like the survivor in play, and this becomes a 4/3, things like that. Okay, they don't necessarily interact like insanely together, but you can build a very solid mid-range control like blue-black with cards like this, for example. Camel Fury. I'm gonna say that's a functional reprint. It's gonna be played. It's gonna wreck people. Nothing super exciting, but still. Ambuscade. So small pump, and then it's not fighting. It actually just deals damage equals to its power to touch response control. Gee, okay, again another like good tricks removal for green. Come on, guys, and it's instant. That's just crazy. That card is gonna like get on nerves so many people. Dauntless 7 is going to be very important and limited, untapping all those exert guys. So that's going to be realistic. Or untapping, you know, some of the creatures, some of the bigger flyers that you wouldn't mind to block with. Really important card, I think, in white. Good in, you know, in very many decks in white. Yeah. And can't be blocked. Oh my god. So Cunning Survivor is gonna be a really premium card for the blue-red cycle discard archetype, or for blue-black cycle discard midrange. So yeah, so this is basically archetype defining card. Yeah, it blocks early, and it just goes for tempo from turn 3. Really great card, I think. Um, One of the easier ones to dismiss, and yeah, you can easily stack it if you have enough of cyclers, especially 1 mana 1. Okay, so target creature control against indestructible. No, even the cyclone doesn't really make it that great. The Titan, on the other hand, is pretty good. Yeah, reminds me about that, I think, 6 mana 6/4 with cycling, but this one has menace at the cost of 1 extra power in the second red in its cost. Sandwala, well, reminds about older Ritvalas across magic. Yeah, you're gonna play that. I'm pretty sure of that. Even though you can only pump it once. Feral Prowler, it's a weird card. But if your red green beatdown is lacking some 2-drops, yeah, you are gonna play it. You are gonna play it, but it's obviously much better in mid-range. Active Furies, geez, okay, you untap a guy, get +2/2, and that can block an extra creature. That's a lot. That's really nasty. That's really nasty. Good on defense and offense. That's pretty good, actually. I mean, you can just use it as a 2 mana instant pump for +2/+2, and you can use it defensively too. It's a really good trick, I should say. Then, also one of the better, I think, blue uncommons. So you're not gonna really have a lack of decent 2-drops in blue-black or blue-red because of creatures like this. Even though it's a zombie, but like it doesn't matter. It has Provis and it has Afflict. So yeah, Tempo blue-black or Tempo blue is definitely gonna be 2 viable archetypes. Scrounger Souls is gonna be quite vital in those too. Moloch. Well, what can I say? His restrict zones is attacking. That's Prowess. Oof. Oh my god. Like, this is gonna be a one nasty lizard. This is gonna be one nasty lizard, so watch out for those, and yeah, play accordingly. Read the cards, read what they do. Remember that it's gonna have first strike. And then that has Prowess. So be careful, folks. Yeah, Camel, decent filler in white, I think. Then Reaver Winder. I don't know. The good part about it is it has hexproof. So if you're into control, you're gonna play this card for sure. If you're in blue. you would need to have a lot of really good cards uh, to have in your deck or in your pool, so that you end up not playing it if you're in blue. The red is weird, but yeah, it's actually really good. 1/1 Dev that actually switches off some random Embalm Eternalize. Yeah, that's a really good common in black. Like one of the better ones, I should say, in this set actually. Devastator, another solid red-green creature. There are a lot of them. Sandblast, well, something to watch out for, something to remember how much it costs and how much damage it does. So you'll have to play around this one a lot of the time, and then you'll have to play around the Gift of Strength too, when you're trying to, race with your flyers. Because yeah, +3/+3 on reach. Oh, the unquenchable first is actually pretty good. And yeah, when I said like most of the time you'll just need to run deserts for all the synergies. Most of the time when you're in red green, but actually in some other colors too from time to time. And this is one good example when you would wanna play some deserts, even maybe some off-color ones. If you're in two colors, if in three, well then just better not, uh, mash up your deck and better not spoil it too much. Because the format is gonna be pretty aggressive and rather fast, I should say. Yeah, you get another free one for 2 in white. We actually have Unsummon back. That's pretty good. One of the reasons to play blue. Yeah, I think blue is very deep. Blue is very deep. And you can go like from tempo to control. That's really great. Well, what can I say? This is a instant -3/-3 for 4 mana in black. Decent. The second clause is not really that important, or that's, it's not gonna be that common. More crazy cards in red green. What can I say? Tragic Lesson is awesome. Think about all the cycling lands, and well, let's say you played on turn 1, turn 2, a tapped cycling land from Amonkhet or from this set, and then later in the game you can bounce it back to your hand so that you can cycle it. It's crazy. It's a crazy good card, I think, for limited as well. And as for constructed, I'm going to continue with part 2 and 3 in the next few days, I think, because that's not going to be super relevant for this week. But let's see, maybe I can pull off like one more constructed review part this week. Yeah, it's a bit sad that open fire costs 3, but what can you do? I'm not sure. I think printing a card like this at 2 will be very safe. I'm torn. I don't know why they put it at 3 mana. But yeah, you'll apply it. At 3 it's still okay for limited. Seer of the Last tomorrow is also another archetype defining card. Mill wasn't like very distinct archetype in Amonkhet, but now gets more support in the second set. So let's see. It's not the easiest archetype to draft, but if you just draft or open in the seal a few of these seers, I think you can try to move into it. And also it's a decent blocker. It's a discard enabler, so even outside of like milling plan, it's still okay. It also helps yourself because it's like target player, so you can, um, enable or your own graveyard synergies. So don't think about this here only for milling your opponent. You can mill yourself and benefit from that. And 1/4 for free is pretty good. And it enables all the triggers for discard and stuff like that. Bone Slasher is pretty good. Yeah, the format will be really aggressive. So many good 2, 3, 4, 5 drops. It's gonna be hard to stop your opponent. So let's just say that at the Prerelease, if you feel like your deck is a little bit too slow, if you like some interaction, if you feel like there's gonna be quite a few times when you would just stumble a little bit in the early turns, well, probably you want to build something else. Because, like, it will be really hard to catch a breath. You'll have to deal with really sick curves and really sick creatures and really a lot of beatdown. The uncommon multicolor and split cards will help you with early aggression, but what can I say? Still, don't think you'll have like a lot of time. Most of this cards is going to be pretty decent in limited. Particularly scared of the appeal authority in limited. That's going to be really annoying to not just play around but to overcome as well. I really like the farm market for limited. Really good value card. Really sweet. Yeah, a lot of really good value generators basically. I think Consign Oblivion, well, you're not gonna apply it to Niagara of course, but because Red Green Beats, for example, has a lot of really good 5 and 6 drops. If you can, on the play, cast Oblivion, there is a pretty good chance it will be a really good move against Red Green if they're holding a couple of cards for quite some time. I liked it. Plus, what can I say? Let's say they cast some beef and they have an avocado in hand. End of turn, you bounce the beef, and then on your turn, tap out for Oblivion. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty strong. So Consign Oblivion is more powerful than you think, and it might be actually good not only in the control shells and definitely not only against control decks. Broadwater Entity and Spider, I mean the Obelisk Spider, obviously very good. All the multicolor uncommons, well, pretty much all of them are really good for limited. There are none that's really speaking out and to me in a way that's I'm just so marginally so narrow. Everything is fine on its own, which is kind of like a bit scary. Okay, artifacts. Well, what am I looking forward into opening at sealed or in draft, and it's not a rare? Well, Sunset Pyramid is pretty good in mid-range and control. I'll give you that. What else? You're gonna side on the Crook of Condemnation quite often, I should say. The dagger is really good, I think. Not amazing, but pretty good still. The Graven Abomination is very good main deckable card. Of course, the Amulets and Mana Life gonna be very important because we don't have like dual lands. You'll play these Carless Deserts most of the time, I think. Then what else? The wall is gonna be quite important because the format is quite fast and aggressive. Yeah, you'll play the deserts, especially the colored ones. Pretty much no matter what, it's not gonna hurt you too much. Of course, the blue one is the least exciting one, but all the other ones are really good. Maybe even decent for constructed. Some people say that because of the deserts, some ultra attacks in standard might be, you know, quite a bit better, but that's another story. So watch out for that. And the point about cycling, um, with this set also in mind, with this block, then there's a lot of cycling. Quite often, if your curve is not like really high, you can get away with 16 lands, even though you have like some 5 drops, for example, just because of all the cycling. So you do find your lands. On the other hand, a lot of your creatures are good mana sinks because of, and what can I say? Also because of cycling, you're more inclined to play a lot of high-end spells or high drops because they in return have cycling. So let's just say that on one hand, maybe you don't need that many lands because you will hit them. On the other hand, with this set now um, in the picture for the block, you have a lot of things to do with your mana. So I would advise to not get greedy, especially in sealed, because it is going to be quite fast. You don't want to fall behind. The draft is a little bit different, but still I don't think I would get really greedy. There are a lot of mana sinks, including these deserts, for example. Then what else? A lot of your stuff has abilities that require mana. Let's take like this premium uncommon, a Reveler Mummy. You'd want to have all that mana. You'd want to have all the mana for the River Hoopo, whatever it's supposed to be pronounced. Then you'll need all the mana for Embalm and Internalize. So, yeah, I think with just a one cat, maybe you were able to play one less land, but now I think there's so much to do with your mana. Yeah, and there are a lot of really good 6, 7 drops or 5 drops even. Okay, this concludes this sealed Prerelease primer. I should just say that I really like blue. I really like blue, black, and blue, red. But blue, white is also viable. I think the safest combination again is red, green. Blue, green doesn't really strike to me. What else? You'd need all kinds of interaction because it's gonna be pretty easy to you know, fall behind. There are a lot of nasty tricks, lots of very good commons and uncommons, which kind of gives me hope that all those mythics and rares are not gonna be super defining in the match results, and just not gonna wreck people all that much. But some are pretty crazy. I think I would want to see a bit more spot removal in this set. There's quite a bit of it, but maybe not enough. So watch out for your Amonkhet packs and hope that it will balance out the picture. Curve is really important, but there are some ways to get back, but not as many. I think life gain might be a little bit more important than you think. So all those flyers that gain some life when they enter might have a higher impact than you think. But I wouldn't just play life gain spells, and I want it to be on a stick, so Desert Hold is going to be pretty important. That incremental life gain on a pacifism is going to be really good for you to catch up against red-green decks. So don't underestimate the impact of it. Of course, Champion is definitely a good card. You're not gonna miss out on that. I think I would prioritize some walls a little bit higher, like this Vial manifestation, and all those in the 0-5 zombie wall, and some miracles like that. Just because okay, we have 2 board wipes. We have 2 board wipes in this set, so that helps. That definitely helps. but those are rares, for example. Last Mercy is something that I'll definitely play in the Sealed, I think, because going back to 20 is going to be important, but you're not going to play this probably in an aggro deck, I guess. In mid-range, definitely, I think. Yeah, that's probably it that strikes to mind. I'll probably missed a few good tips and advices here and there. Yeah, my conclusions combined with all of the reviews probably gonna give you a pretty good picture overall. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next videos. Until the next sale. Goodbye.